So I've had this guitar for a while and I've never quite gelled with the neck pickup in here, the neck position. But I tell you what, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this bridge pickup. Okay, so I just want to jump in here because I filmed most of this video about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and editing it now, I wanted to sort of make a few things clearer as we go along. So, to be honest with you, the idea of having a humbucker in the neck of a Telecaster has been something I've wanted to try and have for a couple of years. Kirk Fletcher, who's probably, you know, one of my favourite players of all time, there was a great video of him from a few years back where he had two Telecasters that he was taking on tour. One of them was a thin line with two humbuckers, and the sound from that has sort of, you know, it's like haunted me honestly for all that time, and I've been wanting to capture that sort of sound. So really the whole idea of doing this, apart from uplifting this guitar to what I think will be better, is to sort of try and fulfill that notion that having a humbucker in a Telecaster can make a Telecaster even more special. So going into this, I was super excited, and yeah, it's like you're going to see this unfold as to, you know, going through a bit of difficulty to get this to happen, but really think about it as 2 years of me wanting this and therefore being worth it. So I think that bridge pickup is flipping awesome. The only problem is I never thought the neck pickup quite did for the guitar what the bridge pickup does. So of course we better hear some of that. Okay, so as I mentioned, you know, this pickup just doesn't quite work for me. It doesn't really inspire me when I'm playing. It doesn't have really any give to it, and it's quite percussive. Maybe it's just too sort of low wind for me, for what I want for the sort of playing I do. If you watched a recent video where I talked about my Flying V, really that's the sort of sound I'm going for generally. And although I like the bridge pickup on this guitar because it's different to other guitars, I want something similar in the neck pickup. You know, it's like sort of makes me feel like it's my home position, you know? So what we're going to do now, just quickly hear that Flying V in the neck position, because that's where we're going to currently take the neck pickup from to put in this Telecaster until I get a new one. So these are both Ron Ellis pickups. This is a 50B, so 50 broadcaster, I guess. This is some sort of tall telly pickup, so it's slightly different than a normal one. And for me, it's got like almost a Stratty sound to it, but it's just not what I just want something different. Now, I'm very lucky because look at the amazing job someone has done here. Someone who owned this before, I think they used a butter knife to cut this humbucker route. Like, I'm serious. It's anyway. It's quite cool, really. Like, someone literally just thought one day, oh, I know, I'm gonna route for a humbucker, and couldn't find a router. So what did they do? They like hacked away at it with a plectrum. Well, we're gonna take this out in a sec. We've got to try a humbucker in here. I've been wanting to do this since I got the guitar, and now's the time. Okay, I'm going to start by removing this pickup and seeing what mess we've got in here before I take the pickup out of the Flying V, because that's a little bit of a pain to remove. And if this person who did this has completely bodged this up, then I'm going to have to think about what else I can do. It looks like they took out the bits where the humbucker feet would go. On one side they put that back in. We'll have a look in a second. All right, let's see what mess we've got. So that says Ron Ellis tool. That's what I was expecting. Definitely be keeping that pickup for something else. I mean, it's definitely got something interesting about it, and worth a few bob these days. Okay, here's the moment of truth, really. On this side, it looks like they did route out where the humbucker feet might go. On this side, it looks like they might have routed it out and plugged it back in. Presumably because they mucked something up. I don't know what we're going to find out right now. No. I was hoping this plug would just be loose. It's not. Yeah, this could end up being a bit more involved than I was hoping. I mean, I've got humbucker templates for routing and everything, but right, I shall be back shortly. Okay, well, you know when you really wish it wasn't going to be this way, yeah. So it's what I was hoping it wouldn't happen. So what happened was someone routed this badly, put a humbucker in by taking out some more wood, as you can see, and then they obviously regretted it or changed their mind, wanted the single coils back in there, and so they plugged that side, not that side. They screwed up the holes a bit, and they left me with a mess. So I've got a decision to make. Do I just carry on doing this myself? You know, I have been spending a lot of time in the workshop trying to make guitars. In fact, I've even finished one guitar, which I'll be looking forward to showing you on the channel soon. It's just at the painters. I've got all the tools. I've got some of the know-how. There's even a chance I won't muck it up. So I think it's probably, I've got to do it. Now, first thing to say is don't do this at home. Second thing is to say, on this guitar, you know, the whole thing is just a fabulous guitar in my opinion. It just absolutely rocks, but the important bit is the neck. The neck on this guitar is stunningly good. So obviously I'm not going to be able to ruin that because I'm not working on that, so that's great. My plan is to basically drill that plug out carefully. Just to bear in mind, if I was doing this for someone else or on a non-relic guitar or on a guitar I'd made that I was going to sell, I would do this all in the workshop properly. But for the sake of filming this, I'm going to try and do this all in here. Right, next I'm going to take the neck off. Nice and snug that. Okay, this lethal looking bit of kit is a Forstner bit, and I'm going to use that. It's almost like that's what they used, and then I'm going to use a chisel. Most important bit of kit right now is a bit of masking tape, so I can flag off this and know how deep to go. Now, if I was downstairs, I'd do this in my drill press, but like I said, I'm going to keep this. I want to keep the momentum up, otherwise this will never get done. So yeah, we're going to make a hole. Okay, I'm going to clamp this to the, I was going to say the workbench. It's a stool, but it will just stop it from completely falling over or anything. Like my dad used to say, do as I say, not as I do. If you're going to do this yourself, take a bit more care. Okay, next I'm just going to measure this cavity here, and that is nearly 14 mils. So basically I'm going to put the flag about 14 mils up. See from the top, this is we're at 30 mils, and the guitar is probably 44 and a half. I could tell you it is 45, yeah. So the trusty masking tape. Yeah. Okay, a little bit nervous here. Basically, just want to start this off slowly. Okay, let's measure. Okay, that's only 9 mils, so we got a good 5 or so to go. There we go, pretty much spot on. Nearly there. Oh no, there we go. Okay. Right, I'll just tidy this up. That wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. All of under 10 minutes work from start to finish. So it's time to get that humbucker out of the Flying V, which is, if you saw last week's video, in itself is a bit of a pain. You have to get the whole pick guard off and the bridge and everything, but all worth it. I'm going to be sad that the Flying V is out of action for at least a few days. But it's time we could find out, is this going to fit? That looks all right to me. In the spirit of badly modding guitars, which is I think what happened here, I'm just screwing this straight into the top. This is well and truly my guitar, and I want to carry on the tradition of just doing whatever the hell you want when you want. Right, okay, time to solder this. It's not really difficult, except for the fact there aren't 2 wires coming from this pickup. So the sleeve is ground and then you have the live bit inside. So I just have to sort of get this attached to the pot there and then to there. And the other thing is I'm not changing the pot yet. This is 250K because that's what's obviously normally in here. And it's all going to get a bit complicated. I'm going to try it with 250 and then maybe I'll try it with 500, but we'll see how it sounds. Right, we're ready to plug this in. Okay, so that's all back together. Well, no, it's not all back together. I need to put the neck on, I need to restring it. But I just wanted to jump in here and say, not long ago, like not many months ago, I would have found that too difficult to do, or just I wouldn't have had the experience or patience to do it. And quite a few people who I chat with like are worried to change pickups. Maybe I've done it 10 times now. It's totally worth just starting off and doing it. The first 2 or 3 will be really annoying. The next couple will still be a bit slow, and after that you'll just start to get the hang of it. And it's really quite it's liberating. It's like a major step in being able to just look after your own guitars. And yeah, but don't start with the cheapest soldering iron, because that's what I did and that's what made it a nightmare. Get something half decent. Right, neck on, strings on, tune this up. Cannot wait to hear it. Okay, just before I started getting too excited, I plugged it into the amp and I couldn't get any sounds by tapping anything. Figured it out though, because there's something similar happen on the Flying V when I was putting that together. The metal wrap on the outside of this was grounding against the switch there. So I'm going to need to wrap this in something, probably just masking tape for now, because otherwise it's just going to ground as soon as I screw this all back together. But it's good to find these things out. And also, you know, when they do happen, you just learn something. So should be back in action in a second. Okay, so all of that didn't take that long, to be honest with you, but as usual, it was a learning experience, and I was just keen to get on and play it and just plug it in and see what happens. So I plug into the Joey Landreth amp. I think I had the Jan Ray going, and to be honest with you, I've just got some camera audio clip here because it became very quickly apparent to me that something wasn't right, and that turned out to be to do with the 250k pot that's in there, that comes with a Telecaster in general. So let's hear that and we'll talk a bit more about that in a second. So I don't know if it came through there particularly, but it just felt very dark. A humbucker, generally you might use a 500k pot, and so with a 250k pot, it's rolling off quite a lot of top end, which makes it sound dark. Now the Joey amp is a reasonably sort of dark amp in itself, so we've just got a quick clip where I plugged it into a magnetone, which is generally much brighter anyway, but it also turned the treble up quite a long way. So look, in general, I was straight away reasonably happy with the whole idea of having the humbucker in there once I started playing it. It definitely added to what I wanted, which was some more sustain, some more breakup, and that humbucker sort of richness in tonality. On the other hand, with the scale length, you don't change the attack of the guitar. It still has a different snappy attack compared to a Les Paul. So it's not an exact, it's not like just making it into a Les Paul, for example, which I'm sure you will guess that anyway if you've not done it yourself before. But I needed to change the pot and then see what happened. So I went in and just rewired it. It actually wasn't too hard to do. And on top of that, you put in a resistor for the bridge pickup, which means that the bridge pickup is basically seeing a 250k pot as it should do, otherwise it'll be way too bright. So with this one, I've got the proper audio. It's running into the magnetone again, I think with, again, just a Jan Ray pedal. So for me, it seems changing the pot made a huge difference. There had been even some weird sort of artifacts coming out when I was playing with the other pot. They just disappeared. The bridge actually just plays as normal with the resistor in place. And the whole thing did give me what I was looking for. But here's the thing. Did it make me feel or sound like Kirk Fletcher from the video team? No, of course not. Just time and playing and practicing and learning will do, well, it's not going to make me sound and play like Kirk Fletcher, but you know what I mean. It's going to make me better. Now, I'm not going to change this back from having a humbucker. I think it suits it better than the pickup that was there. But on the other hand, the scale length, I think, makes it feel different. I think it works really well with really low gain. But when you start to increase it, I don't know, I hear something in the mids that's not there on a Les Paul that just isn't 100% for me. Now the pickup itself is fantastic. It's the one from my Flying V, as you've seen, and I love it. And I will be putting that back in my Flying V, and Stuart from Sunbear I think he's going to make something specifically for this Telecaster. So I'll do an update video on that. Is it a mod worth doing for yourself? If you've got a route under there 100%, definitely try it. If you haven't got one and it's not something you're going to sell, or you don't mind if you slightly change the value of the guitar, or you've got someone really competent who could do it for you, yeah, 100%. It adds something to your arsenal of sounds. And of course you could put a tappable humbucker in there, all sorts of stuff. I think playing around with what you've got and doing mods and things is definitely worth it. It's worth it to just experience that, and so you can answer for yourself, you know, is it something you're interested in? So I've still got to spend more time with the guitar. When I do an update video on it based on a new pickup, then we'll talk about maybe just time sort of gets me used to the scale length with the humbucker, and it actually just becomes something I really get on with really well. As for now, I don't regret doing it at all, and it's going to stay like that. So anyway, I hope this has been an interesting one, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.